Welcome to GL Tech Ramblings. Today, we are delving into the exciting world of semantic kernel, starting from the very beginning. 0. If the .NET SDK repository has been on your radar, you are on the right place. We are going to set up everything needed to get it, to run it, and execute it. Let's start this journey together. We are starting from 0. I have set up a virtual machine in the cloud, in Azure, with nothing on it. There I have several tabs open, the semantic kernel documentation site, the quick start, and open links to what we need, like Git, semantic kernel repo, also VS Code, .NET SDK, Polyglot notebooks, and you will find the links down below in the comments. A bit below on the quick start, there are some requirements, which are the ones we are going to follow. So you can see here there are, but I like to follow it in bit on my own way, which is what I will show. So we can start by installing Git. If you have Windows, Git for Windows is a good site. We do the usual. We download and then execute. You can execute it as admin, which is not a bad thing if it opens. Yeah, let's take into account this is a VM and in the cloud. All right, so I execute it as admin, and next. Then here I think, yeah, I will like adding the Git profile to the Windows terminal. If you have Windows, this I'm doing is for Windows, which is what I have, but you can leverage that for Mac. If you have Mac or Linux, then, well, you probably know how to operate it. Already. I mostly accept all the defaults, but here I also like to use the console window as terminal, so I will change to the console window. I mean, at the end, you choose what you are more familiar with, right? That's all right. Then next, and we'll advance the installation by Art of Magic. So I'm speaking that by the magic of video editing. And voila, that's it. Next, we will open a command prompt and get the Git URL from semantic kernel. And next, we will clone the repository with Git, which if you are a developer, you probably know how to do it, but otherwise you can just follow what I'm typing on the screen in a moment. Yeah, so I will go and create a directory. I like to have everything under my Git folder, and then I can type git clone and then this URL that we copied from the Git repository. Again, speeding it a bit. And next is Visual Studio Code. But yeah, after this, we will start first the SDK. It says 7.0, but let's install 8.0 as it is LTS, which means long-term support, which I think is better. The previous one is short-term support. .NET has a 2-year support cycle, and meanwhile, every 2 years with long-term support, they release a short-term support, which is more advanced, but will not last long. Again, we use the magic of video editing to make everything go smooth and fast, just for you. And we go on. Yes, I didn't want that there. After this, we can install Visual Studio Code. So I have Windows 11, I will install that version, but you have them for any platform you want. So it should be already downloaded. And the usual. Click, download, execute, say yes to everything. Easy. All right, I'm wondering which IDE do you use? Which is your favorite? All right, meant to be run as administrator. Yeah, as Microsoft, we trust and we don't read the license and just accept. Yeah, I like to do these open with code and have a desktop icon. You know, these integrations with code are quite useful. And then next, and speeding up everything. And yeah, then we can launch it. And yeah, it's opening. So we have Visual Studio 8.0, we have Git, and then Visual Studio Code. And very important step, we must set the dark mode theme. As you know, good developers we are, well, things will not work. You know, the theme and the dark color is very, very important. I'm joking. And then the rest of the settings, yeah, we can mostly skip, or yeah, we can track our code with Git, which makes sense. We have it installed. And then we can go and open the solution of Semantic Kernel that we just cloned. So we open the Semantic Kernel repository. And it was under Git. So we go to PC, C, and Git, and then Semantic Kernel. That's it. And we can open the folder. All right. And yeah, we should trust Microsoft. I think they're good people. So yes. And we can check the samples, they are there. And also, we will have this question, install recommended extensions the first time that we got this, and we say yes. This will install a few things like semantic kernel tools. We are not looking into that today, but yeah, or technically the polyglot notebooks, which yeah, they should be installed already, but just in case, we will check that and install. It's a Visual Studio Code extension. This will enable you to open these what we call notebooks, which is a mix of markdown, text, documentation, and code. And yeah, then we wait until all the extensions are installed, and we will have everything in our computer ready to do AI. This is a notebook, by the way. Here you see that is a bit of markdown, text, and then code in some boxes. It's quite cool. Usually it started with Python notebooks. I think it's Anaconda, the first environment, but now it's supported in .NET, which is quite cool. And here the play means execute in the boxes, or you can run all the boxes one after another, and as well we can restart or run all the code blocks. It's more or less like debugging, and the result, the outcome will appear under the box, and the variables and everything in the environment persist and are shared in the same page, in the same notebook. We will use Azure OpenAI, so we will change this to true. We are not using OpenAI here. We can play it, so we have set it to true already. And so we are going to the portal azure.com to create everything we need, right? Because we need the Azure OpenAI configuration, and we have nothing so far, at least nothing for this example. So I'm going to Azure. You can see the VM where we were slightly very quick. I will delete it after. So, and the same of what I am creating now. So we will create an OpenAI resource in Azure. We'll click on create. We'll give it a name and the resource group semantic kernel. But as I live in Switzerland North, and this is where the OpenAI resides, I will create it very close to it, which means, and I'll give it a name. So semantic kernel rules. I think it's good. I hope you agree. The rest by default. And next time, we will remove everything after. So I think I have hidden all the details, but if you see any key or anything, don't even try. So by magic of video editing, everything happens like a blast. Yeah, not the moment. And we go to Azure OpenAI Studio. There is a Azure AI Studio without the open. But here we will need the OpenAI key, which is on keys and endpoints on the configuration in the Azure portal. And in the OpenAI Studio, if it opens, we must go there because we need a model. And by default, we have none. Sorry. We wait a bit until it loads, and we can go to chat, and we can see that we can do nothing. Here we need a model deployment, so we create one. We go to deployments, create new deployment, and yeah, what else but the greatest and best. So we check GPT-4 and we select auto update to default, because one thing I found is usually new features need new models, so it's a bummer to have to update. So this will keep them up to date, and we give it a name. So semantic kernel minus GPT minus 4, for example. And again, auto update is coming in, so we check that, and we can try. Initially, yeah, we can go to the chat. It's called chat completion. It's a API that these GPT 3.5 and 4 follow, which usually follows the pattern of a chat. It needs some time to ramp up, so you may have to wait, but it's 1 minute or 2 at most. But I think it's good to test things. So let's just copy and paste. Not that it helps. Yeah, there are a few new things. Last time I used this, it's incredible how fast it's evolving. And we may have to wait a bit, but it's all right. So deployment is succeeded. We come back just to check it. And voila. We try again, and now it works. Seems that GPT-4 likes semantic kernel. All right. It's not bad to say thank you. So now we should be able to copy the deployment name because we are going to need it. And we go back to Visual Studio Code to play the code in our box step 2 in the notebook that we open, which is the settings. It's under .NET Notebooks, just saying. And we will see an open question app there, and we have to enter that where we are asked. So we put now the deployment name after the URL. We copy that again. Yeah, now it's there. It's up there. So, and then the Azure OpenAI key, which we have that in the Azure portal. Either of them is good, key 1 or key 2. And there we go. You can read API configuration is configured, everything is configured. And this is persisted, so we can use that afterwards. So now on the next one, we can import the configuration. With the getting started, first we were on the settings, just saying. And this notebook needs to import the settings we saved earlier, basically, which is this import statement on top. Now we import the semantic kernel NuGet. That's on. And then we will create the kernel builder, which is using the builder pattern to create the kernel. So we can configure it and verify that everything is configured properly before creating the kernel. And also we add the OpenAI service with our configuration. And yep, next we can load and run a plugin, and we are almost done. Basically, we do the same as we did in our previous video, which I show you here on the screen. So you can check it if you want to do all these, not with a notebook and using the code of Semantic Kernel, but yeah. And that's it for setting up the Semantic Kernel repo for .NET. We have installed and set up everything we needed. Anything else along the way or questions? I'm here to help, so leave a comment down below and stay tuned for more tech explorations. And if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more.